What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 55 of Park to Prem, here with Town or Town. Today, it is the FA Cup third round, away from home, against Arsenal. I feel like this is perhaps the biggest game in the club's history. Yes, the playoff final was big, and I guess in terms of what was on the line, that was slightly bigger, but in terms of calibre of opposition, the kind of game that we have today, there's not much that comes closer to this in terms of big games than when you're in League 2 and you're slogging it out against one of the big dogs. So yes, Arsenal to play today. As you can see, the board are absolutely loving things, which is good, although they are concerned about the finances to sign James Norris. Yes, we've signed him. That was terrible acting by me. But yeah, we've picked up James Norris, £46,000 paid. I did have him on loan till the end of the year, but he was quite keen on a transfer. Ipswich were looking to sell him. I perhaps could have picked him on a free at the end of the season, but I didn't want to risk another team coming in. I feel like for that kind of price, considering his wage demands are relatively low for a player on a 3-year deal, it was just kind of a case of get the deal done, you know, make sure of it. So we have lost £46,000 because, of course, he went to Ipswich on a free transfer. He's then spent a few loans here, there and everywhere before returning. And, well, now he is officially back at home. And interestingly enough, having signed for the club again, he immediately shot up to being a team leader, which I'm a little bit surprised about. You can see Sanchez, Mampala and Norris in the team leadership bubble, if you can call it that. I'm surprised about the likes of Stewart dropping down. That's happened in the last few months. I can only assume that's because we've got too many leaders. The way Football Manager works, you can't have, I think more than 3 team leaders in the hierarchy anyway. I feel like if we could, we probably would at this point. There's a real core of players who have been at the club a long time, and this has definitely helped us out because Smolio's been a little bit annoyed already to start January about the fact that we rejected some transfer bids for him. You can see the list of teams interested is ever growing. We're still trying to keep hold of him, but I managed to get Mampala to have a quick chat with him, and he immediately dropped all concerns about the fact we weren't willing to sell him. So from that perspective, things are looking okay. Of course, he's got 6 years left on his contract. 6 blooming years. I don't want to sell him. I really don't. It wouldn't be fair to have to let him go. But yeah, interesting to see the hierarchy here. If you were wondering about Sanchez updates, he's got a thigh strain. It's his third injury in 3 months. It's not been a great time here at Towlaw. Has been out for 4 weeks already. Could be out for another 3. He's not quite been the signing I hoped he might be. I'll hold my hands up and admit it. But we've been through a pretty turbulent December, to be honest. Of course, last time out, we took on Bristol Rovers in the FA Cup twice. Yes, yesterday's episode was a bit of a bumper episode, to say the least. And from there, we've played 6 games in the league in anticipation of this game against Arsenal. You can see we started off with a game against Macclesfield. We've done really well, for the most part, against teams in and around us. But it seems like Macclesfield, where we've been slipping up, they are right down there. Not necessarily in a relegation scrap, but firmly planted in the bottom half of the table. 2-0 defeats here, scored from the penalty spot and got a goal late on as we chased. Following on from that, a 1-1 draw against Cambridge, another team who are really far down in the league, and points dropped for certain. Gannon got us a goal, but that was not enough. We then took on Port Vale, a 2-1 win. Shuttleworth and DKM with the goals. It wasn't the most convincing results, but we just needed a win at the end of the day, and we ground one out. And I hoped perhaps some of that momentum would carry forward into the game against Crewe. It did not. They scored first in this game. Away from home, our away form hasn't been flawless by any means. We are still unbeaten at home, however. But yeah, they got the lead early on. Mampala grabbed us a goal back. Taylor Richards then scored for them at the start of the second half, and we rolled the dice. We went more attacking. We just couldn't quite find a breakthrough. You can see, just looking at Crewe here, they're currently positioned 4th in League 2. They are going very, very strong. So to slip up against one of our big rivals was disappointing, but worth noting their media prediction was first at the start of the year. So definitely one of the best teams in the league. Just a bit of a shame, the manner in which we fell apart there. Following on from that, though, 2 good games and 2 games where he scored plenty of goals. First against Oldham, a 3-2 win on this one was a relatively comfortable result. Leighton Stewart with the goal, Michael Jacobs chipping in as well with one. For this game, I actually decided to mix things up. With only 1 win in our last 4, I went back to the 4-4-2 against Oldham, and we got the win. I wasn't wowed by it, so I immediately switched back. And when we switched back, we beat Salford 3-1 in this game. Ollie Younger with a goal right at the beginning of this game. Liam Coyle, I don't know what to say about this guy. Brought in as a ball-winning midfielder. He's made an odd habit of scoring incredible long shots. Another one to add to his collection here, right into the top corners. Unfortunately, he has picked up an injury since this game. We then scored another through-man parlour, 3 goals in the first half, and I feel like I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. 3-0 up, we relaxed, and we did lose the clean sheet. They scored in the 52nd minute, but a good win against Salford away from home, especially because we lost to them earlier on in the year, or drew against them earlier on in the year, actually, if I'm not mistaken, or was it a loss? It was a draw, but you can see where they are in the league, 23rd, we really need to be beating them. So it was good to get a result there. You can see Macclesfield in 22nd and Cambridge in 19th, 2 other teams we slipped up against. In terms of how the league table looks, this is how things are right now. We have played a game less than Chesterfield, who currently sit 3rd. Crewe are 4 points behind us, but we're in a relatively good position right now. You can see in terms of recent form, no one's flawless by any means. Whilst we've not had the best December, it's kind of been replicated across the league, which is, I guess, a silver lining of sorts. At the same time, you can look at it through the perspective of we could be top of the league right now, but obviously that's not the way things are played out. But with 20 games left of the year, we are looking very, very solid. You can see here, for today's game, Rush is out suspended, Liam Coyle injured as well. So we do need to make some changes. Of course, with it being January, they haven't played yet together in the league, but Tristan Needham has joined the team and is registered, as is Andre Dizelle. Of course, I say that like they've only just signed. They've been at the club a couple of months playing in cup games, but they will be ready and raring to go in the league. And I'm hoping that they're really going to drive us on to that next level. Anyway, as I said, Rush is suspended for today's game. That does leave us a little light at the back. So at right back, we'll go with Kane Patterson. This guy, a bit of an unsung hero. Hero, perhaps an exaggeration, but a player who has been ever reliant. Whenever we've had an injury or a suspension at right back or left back, or we need to make a change in the full back positions during a game, this is the man to come on and make a difference for us. And we'll hope that he can have more of that today. It does mean on the bench, Tommy Smith is going to come in. A player who I've not really sung and praised about that much, simply because he's not really played. Joined us on a free transfer last year as a bit of backup, has played 3 games in the league. As you can perhaps tell by his average ratings, not the craziest player in the world, a bit of useful squad depth in a situation like this one today. But yes, this is the team that we're going to go with, I think, although I am actually going to swap Stewart and Mampala. I've still been umming and ahhing over which I prefer, and as I said, we have trialled going back to the 4-4-2 and playing them together, but I feel like against stronger opposition we'll just get beaten in the midfield. Oldham were kind of a team that I felt like was there for the taking. Equally, Mampala has been raising some concerns about his, well, you can see here, his desire to start new games. Apparently he's unhappy about learning to play inverted or inside forward on the left. And do I need him to learn that? Could I help myself a little bit here by just training him as an advanced forward? You know what? I think we will. He's picked it up a little bit, but I feel like he and Stewart are just kind of more natural-born strikers. I think at the time I was doing it for a more squad depth thing, but actually now I think about it with some of the signings that we've made over the course of the transfer window since the summer and kind of how players are developed. If I have to play Mampala at left wing, something has gone drastically wrong. Equally, because he is such a team leader in the hierarchy, I don't really want to make him angry. And he's already unhappy about lack of first-team football, so let's try and appease him there. In terms of the team, though, Smolio in goal, Gannon and Embleton at centre-back, reunited finally. We've been juggling a few injuries between them. Of course, Norris, now officially a Towlaw player permanently. He looks delighted about it. Is great to see. Hopefully he can have a good first appearance as a permanent signing. He signed on the dotted line a little bit before January, but of course the transfer officially went through on January the 1st. So this is his first start for the club as a player since he left and since the loan. That suddenly doesn't sound as impressive, does it? Patterson at right back coming in, bit of a question mark over him. Dizelle and Needham we're going to go with in the middle. You'll notice here that Needham is currently set as a box-to-box midfielder rather than a ball-winning midfielder. I'm going to trial it, see how it goes. If we are left a little bit open at the back, and I feel like between them they're not doing enough defensive duty to help our defenders, we could either switch Dizelle to be a defensive deep line playmaker or switch Needham back to being a ball-winning midfielder on defend. I want to trial these two guys both on support. I feel like they've got the intelligence as footballers to pivot on one another. We'll see if that actually turns out to be the case. Anyway, on the left, we're going to go with DKM. Has kind of fallen off the pace as of late. Let's hope that he can turn it around today. It's going to be Jacobs with his yellow boots out on the right-hand side. Has continued to develop a little bit. 20 years old. He's had an okay start to time at the club. I was hoping for a little bit more, but he has played a good deal of football and stayed fit, which is more than what can be said for a few of our new additions to the team. Of course, we've got Tierno Ballo in their centre, attacking mid-position. This guy, I feel like he's gone from strength to strength. So, whilst we have struggled a little in the midfield as a whole, I'm hoping that with Dazella and Needham now in the team, playing in the league regularly, with Ballo starting to find his feet as a centre attacking mid, this can be, the point in the season at which we really start to kick on. We are going to go with Mampala up top as well. I know he hates, he doesn't hate big matches, but he's super inconsistent. I feel like if he blows hot, he's better than Stewart, and we'll hope that he can blow hot today. Of course, away from home against Arsenal here, I don't want to go more defensive. I don't want to go more less attacking than I already do. I'm like Daniel Farker. I have a philosophy. I'm going to stick to it no matter who we play against. Although, here's their teams. They've got Saliba at centre-back alongside Lindelof. Daramy, is that the Sierra Leone's? I don't know if that's what you call someone from Sierra. Does he have Sierra Leone? Yeah, he does. Sierra Leonean is the answer. He's actually declared for Denmark in this save, which is interesting. He's out on the left. It looks like a bit of a mixed bag. I can't work out if this is a full-strength team. It seems like in terms of their strikers, they're playing a couple of regens. This guy looks okay, Beasley, but of course with a tribute masking on, we don't really know how good they are. It's probably easiest to judge by the players' squad numbers how good they are. It looks like they're playing a fairly rotated team, although they have still got Grimaldo and Rodri in the centre of the midfield and two very good centre-backs. They've also got Bigerson here, who is a Danish international goalkeeper at the age of 23. He looks very, very good. So let's not take anything for granted here. Away from home, we're probably going to get spanked. I'm going to hold my hands up and admit it. If we could take it to a second leg, absolutely fantastic, but I'm not expecting it. Also, one thing that I totally forgot to mention, and I should have mentioned it before we even got into today's game, you might have spotted it, we might be in the process of a board takeover. I don't know what to make of that. I'm hoping it's just going to fall through, because I quite like Alexander, even though he doesn't give us as much money as I would like. You can see here, the overall balance of the club, definitely a problem. When your debt in the club is larger than the estimated value of the club, that is a problem. But, more news on that as it comes through. But at least for now, we could be in the process of a board takeover. It might happen, it might not. I'm hoping it's not going to happen. Sometimes these come up in Football Manager and they just fall through quite quickly. This one has been going on for a few weeks, and I have no idea how long it's going to drag on for. We're not into transfer embargo, so it doesn't feel like it's an imminent takeover. But, yeah, be aware. We could be saying goodbye to Alexander within, less than 2 years. Smolio with a good save there. 15 minutes gone already. We're doing absolutely fine, he says. I mean, we've not had a shot yet, but Smolio's just going to keep us in it. Dazal might have twisted his knee. That's not an injury that you can just run off very easily without aggravating things. Oh my word. How has that gone in? Okay, we should probably sub him off. Let's take him off. Right. Warrington, come on down. Oh, that's not a good goal to concede, is it? It's not a good goal to concede. Duxbury with it. I mean, it starts in the wide areas, and I thought we dealt with it actually when their header hit the woodwork. I thought defender's going to get it clear. No, Embleton lunges like a snake. Do snakes lunge? I'm not sure, but he's lunged like a snake. He's not really got enough on it. We're being bullied a little bit in this game. I'm going to tone things down just a little notch on the attackometer. Is that a thing? Attackometer. I'm just thinking about how I want to approach things here. If I want to change how the centre mids are set up. I don't think I do. They're playing a 4-4-2, so I really want to exploit that gap between their defence and attack where we can. But just maybe trying to contain ourselves a little bit defensively, and in terms of how much we commit going up the field would make sense. I mean, after 40 minutes, we're playing Premier League Arsenal. It's only 1-0. I would consider that okay. I might be jinxing it here. We may well concede before half-time, but they've not had a clear-cut chance yet. And Smolio, oh my word, what a save that was. It was hard to tell from the angle, but he has made a huge save there. It was a clear-cut chance. I think it was on target. And then Daramy heads over. At least one of the fans has got a souvenir of a ball, hey. I mean, at the break it's only 1-0. We've only had one shot. I feel like we have to do something. And I'm going to do something that might be odd. In fact, it is odd. I'm going to change the shape. I'm going to make our wider players play more attacking and change Ballo to support. Less playing out of defence and more direct. I want us to get the ball into wide areas very, very quickly here. Get it to the flanks. Distribute it quickly. And I'm actually going to go with cautious. I want us to try and hit them on the break in the second half because I have a feeling that they are not going to respect us. Now, this does rely on us being solid defensively. We're going to be tested a little bit more because we're not going to be adventuring as far up the pitch. But my rationale here is that we kind of just need to try and hit them on the break, create one clear-cut chance. Clearly, trying to play positive football is great. Although, I mean, I've switched Ballo to support and now he's in our own penalty area giving away penalties. Maybe my genius isn't as good as I want to believe it is. Right, Smolio, what can you do? I mean, they've completely missed the penalty. It's still 1-0. We're fine. This is fine. Mampala's not had a good game. Stuart loves big matches. I'm not entirely sure what qualifies as a big match in Football Manager. I don't know if anyone from Sports Interactive has ever kind of just said, hey, this is what a big match is. I mean, you have to assume this is a big match, but does the game know when you're taking on like a promotion rival? I mean, it must do because you have like the title race news inbox items and the relegation ones, but does the game know? Ah, that's annoying. Does the game know? I have no idea. Daramy has scored. I thought when they missed the penalty, we were still in it. And then Daramy's kind of dribbled around like a boy in a school field. He doesn't really know what he's doing, it seems like. But he just kind of has a massive turning circle. No one does anything. And it's a nice finish in the end. Smolio kind of got half a hand to it. I'm going very attacking, everyone. I've had enough of this conservative stuff. Mampala, get off the pitch. You've not been good enough today. Demands first team football, then plays like that. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. I mean, no matter what happens, I feel like I have to keep reiterating it. We're playing Arsenal away from home. Like, whatever way you look at it, it probably wasn't going to end with us winning it or even salvaging a draw. I would like it to be respectable. I don't know what qualifies as respectable. I'd say less than 5-0 and we've done okay. Although maybe that's me just being defeatist now as they score a third. Beasley with his first goal of the year. I mean, I feel a little bit bad. I think it was Gannon there who went in for the initial tackle. Just the ball kind of squirmed out from between him and the attacker and fell straight to another Arsenal player to follow up. Right, very attacking. I mean, maybe I went very attacking too late. Maybe that was the issue. Grimaldo with it in the wide areas. Whips it in. Smolio holds on to it. And, well, he's going to ping it out to the wings as instructed. I mean, he doesn't quite have the kicking range, I feel like, to achieve that kind of pass. But I appreciate the ambition and him sticking to what I've told him to do at the very least. Trying to force an error out of them at the back here. Jarvis short now with it. Plays it wide to Tessia. Whipped in back post, that's a problem. Oh my word, Smolio is just keeping us in this game. I don't know if you can say he's keeping us in this game when it's 3-0, but he's saving our blushes at the very least. We could be humbly embarrassed in this game, and yet the little Croat between the sticks, he's loving it. Is Croat like a term for someone from Croatia? It almost sounds offensive, and now I'm scared that it is offensive. I know we have some Croatians kind of watching who are part of the Smolio Appreciation Society. I don't mean offence. I think everyone knows that at this point. I'm just ill-informed sometimes. It finishes 3-0. We had one shot all game. Smolio made 6 saves. That's the positive thumbs-up thing that we've been told. I mean, the FA Cup dream dies. I'm not sure if you could really call it much of a dream. It wasn't really ever going to last too long, was it? Dezelle is out for 3 to 6 days. That is not ideal. You can see here, Mampala, I mean, he's happy now that he's playing as an advance forward. He's cheered up, apparently. A few of our players playing in various games. We received a measly £7,000 for turning up and playing. I think we got a little bit more in terms of gate receipts and stuff. You can see the income for this month. £62,000. So thank you, Arsenal, for a little bit of income. That isn't going to solve the finances overnight, unfortunately, 62,000. We are still spending a little beyond our means, perhaps, at this point. But I'm spending within what's been set by the board. I feel like that's the most important thing to remember. I am spending what I was told I'm allowed to spend as a manager. It's not on me. I'm not an accountant. At least, I don't think I'm an accountant. Anyway, in terms of games we've got coming up, guys, we've got Burton, who have fallen way off the pace. At one point, they looked like they were going to be one of the big teams around us. But if we just look at their recent form, they really have tailed off. They've not won. In fact, they've won, what, 1 game in their last 8 league matches? That is actually shocking. I didn't realise they'd fallen off the pace that much. So looking further ahead, we've got Bradford, who are in first. And then I kind of want to pair it up with another game. But what I might do is come back for the Bradford game, then go forward a little bit more and play another game. Although looking at it, we've got loads of easy games. I don't want to say easy games, but certainly like bottom half teams. We've actually played a lot of the teams in and around us early on in this second half of the season. So with that in mind, what I think we'll do is we'll come back for the Bradford game away from home. We'll see how things are lining up, towards the end of January. Situations can change. Maybe we'll include the Stockport County game against a familiar foe, who of course were promoted with us last year. Knowing my luck, the games will be postponed and rescheduled anyway. But looking further ahead, I think we'll do the game against Bradford. They're top of the league for a reason. They are, one of the best teams in the league. They're the second highest scoring team behind ourselves. Should be a good one. And, hopefully we'll be in it a little more than we were in this game against Arsenal. But I'm not going to dwell on it too much. It was always going to be a struggle. We just never looked like even having a chance, which is a tad unfortunate. But anyway, guys, that is going to be all from me today. You might be able to tell from my voice, I'm not feeling super good. So hopefully I'm feeling better by the time the Bradford game comes rolling around. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.